Happiness is not something that comes from outside of you. It is not dependent on people, possessions, or circumstances. True happiness is an inner choice, a decision to embrace yourself as you are and to know that you are worthy of joy simply because you exist. Happiness is an inside job. It is not something that can be handed to you, bought with money, or permanently secured through relationships, achievements, or possessions. These things may bring moments of joy, but true happiness is deeper. It is a state of being that is born within you. When you realize that your joy does not depend on outside circumstances, you unlock the secret to a life of peace and fulfillment. So often, people believe that happiness will come when certain conditions are met. They say to themselves, "I'll be happy when I find the right partner. I'll be happy when I earn more money. I'll be happy when I achieve my goals." But what happens once those things arrive? The joy is temporary. The partner may not always say the right things. The money may not be enough. The achievement may not feel as satisfying as expected. Then the cycle continues. Always chasing, always waiting, always hoping that the next thing will finally be the key to happiness. But the truth is, happiness is never out there. It has always been inside of you. When you stop placing conditions on your joy, you free yourself from a lifetime of waiting. You no longer say, "I'll be happy when." Instead, you say, "I choose to be happy now." That simple shift in awareness is the difference between a life of endless longing and a life of peace. This doesn't mean ignoring challenges or pretending everything is perfect. Life will always bring ups and downs. People will disappoint you. Plans will fail. Circumstances will change. But happiness is not about avoiding pain. It is about choosing how you meet it. You can meet challenges with resistance, anger, and bitterness. Or you can meet them with faith, acceptance, and trust that you are strong enough to move through them. Happiness grows when you choose peace over reaction. It also grows when you stop giving away your power. How many times have you let someone else's opinion control how you feel? When they praised you, you felt good. When they criticized you, you felt worthless. This is the trap of seeking approval. The truth is, no one else can define your worth. Happiness blooms when you stop asking the world for permission to love yourself. You don't need their validation, you only need your own. When you can look in the mirror and say, "I am enough. Exactly as I am," you have tapped into a well of happiness that no outside voice can take away. Another key to lasting happiness is gratitude. It is impossible to be grateful and unhappy at the same time. Gratitude shifts your focus from what is missing to what is already present. Every morning, you can choose to notice the gift of your breath, the strength of your body, the opportunities ahead of you. Every night, you can close your eyes and give thanks for the lessons, the love, and the growth of the day. Gratitude turns ordinary moments into miracles, and it fills your heart with quiet joy that cannot be shaken. Equally important are the words you speak to yourself. The mind is always listening. If you fill it with harsh criticism, your heart will feel heavy. If you constantly tell yourself you are not good enough, you will never feel at peace. But when you choose to speak with kindness, compassion, and encouragement, you begin to nurture your own soul. Instead of saying, "I can't do this," say, "I am learning and I am growing stronger each day." Instead of saying, "Don't deserve happiness," say, "I am worthy of love, peace, and joy." Happiness comes when your inner dialogue becomes a source of comfort instead of conflict. And then there is trust. Happiness flows naturally when you stop trying to control everything. Life does not always go according to your plans, and that is okay. Sometimes what looks like a setback is really a blessing in disguise. Sometimes what feels like loss is the path to something greater. When you trust that life is unfolding for you, not against you, you release the burden of control. In its place comes peace, the kind of peace that allows happiness to breathe. Finally, happiness is a choice of love over fear. Every thought, every decision, every action comes from one of these two places. Fear tells you that you are not enough, that life is unsafe, that you must fight, compare, and struggle. Love tells you that you are complete, that life is guiding you, that you can relax into your own worth. Each time you choose love, for yourself, for others, for the present moment, you choose happiness. So remember, happiness is not something to chase, and it is not something that anyone can give or take away from you. It is already inside of you, waiting to be recognized. The secret is simply stop looking outside and start looking within. Nurture gratitude. Speak kindly to yourself, release control, trust life, and always choose love over fear. When you do, you will discover that happiness is not a destination, but a way of being. It is not dependent on what happens. It is who you are when you finally come home to yourself. Letting go of approval seeking is one of the most liberating choices you can ever make. For much of life, many of us are taught to measure our worth by how others see us. From childhood, we learn to crave praise, to look for nods of approval, to adjust ourselves so that we fit neatly into the expectations of parents, teachers, friends, or society at large. We grow up believing that if others like us, then we are valuable, and if they disapprove of us, then we are somehow lacking. But this way of living is exhausting. It is a never-ending performance, a constant search for validation, and it keeps happiness always out of reach. The truth is, no amount of external approval will ever be enough if you are not at peace with yourself. You could receive applause from 1,000 people, but if your own heart is filled with self-doubt, the applause will feel empty. Approval seeking is like pouring water into a bucket full of holes. It never fills, no matter how much you try. You end up chasing an illusion, hoping that someone else's words, smiles, or acceptance will complete you, but it never does. When you let go of approval seeking, you free yourself from this endless chase. You begin to realize that your value is not up for debate. It does not rise or fall depending on who likes you, who agrees with you, or who applauds you. Your worth is constant, unchanging, and already whole. You do not need anyone to confirm what is already true. You are enough just as you are. Think of how much energy is wasted on worrying about what others think. How many times have you held yourself back from speaking your truth because you feared someone might disapprove? How many times have you forced yourself into a role, a smile, or a lifestyle that did not feel authentic simply because you wanted to be accepted? Every time you do this, you trade a piece of your freedom for a drop of validation. But that validation is temporary and the cost is too high. You lose yourself in the process. Letting go does not mean you stop caring about people. It does not mean you become rude, dismissive, or selfish. What it means is that you stop making other people's opinions the master of your life. You can still listen, you can still learn, and you can still love, but you do it from a place of strength, not neediness. Instead of asking, will they like me if I do this? You begin to ask, do I like myself when I do this? That question shifts everything. It brings the focus back to where it belongs, inside of you. When you stop chasing approval, something magical happens. People begin to respect you more. Ironically, the very approval you were desperate for begins to flow naturally once you no longer depend on it. People are drawn to those who are authentic, confident, and at peace with themselves. They may not always agree with you, but they will sense your strength. They will feel your energy. And whether they approve or not, it will not shake your sense of self. Another beautiful gift of releasing approval Seeking is the freedom to make mistakes. When you are trapped in needing approval, mistakes feel like disasters because you fear rejection. But when you are rooted in your own worth, you can stumble, learn, and grow without shame. You no longer need to be perfect to be loved. You understand that your humanity, your flaws, your lessons, your journey is part of what makes you beautiful. And what about rejection? Many people fear it so deeply that they spend their lives avoiding it. But rejection loses its power when you are no longer seeking approval. If someone disapproves of you, it does not mean you are unworthy. It simply means that their perspective does not align with who you are. And that is okay. You are not here to please everyone. You are here to live as your true self. Not everyone will understand you. Not everyone will support you. And that is part of the journey. The right people will love you not because you fit their mold, but because you are authentic. Letting go of approval, seeking also strengthens your relationship with yourself. Instead of looking outward for validation, you begin to turn inward for guidance. You learn to trust your own intuition, to follow your own heart, and to make decisions that align with your inner truth. You stop living for applause and start living for purpose. That is when life begins to feel lighter, more authentic, and more joyful. You will notice that when you live this way, peace becomes your natural state. You no longer feel the anxiety of wondering, what will they think of me? Because it no longer matters. What matters is what you think of yourself. You can look in the mirror with love and acceptance, knowing that you are living honestly, bravely, and in alignment with your soul. Approval is fleeting, but self-acceptance is lasting. Approval depends on the shifting moods, judgments, and opinions of others. Self-acceptance depends only on you. And when you choose it, you will discover a happiness that no external opinion can touch. The secret is simple: you are already enough, and the only approval you ever truly need is your own. Practicing daily gratitude is one of the simplest yet most powerful habits you can cultivate to bring more happiness, peace, and abundance into your life. Gratitude has the ability to shift your focus from what is missing to what is already present. It transforms ordinary moments into sacred ones, and it allows you to see that even in the midst of challenges, there is always something to be thankful for. Gratitude is not about denying pain or pretending everything is perfect. It is about choosing to acknowledge the blessings that exist alongside the difficulties. It is about training your heart and mind to see light even in the darkest times. So many people spend their lives waiting for big breakthroughs to feel grateful. They tell themselves, I'll be grateful when I have more money, when I buy a new house, when I get the perfect job, or when I finally meet the right partner. But the secret is that gratitude does not wait for the extraordinary. It thrives in the everyday. If you cannot feel grateful for the breath in your lungs, the food on your table, or the lessons of today, then even the greatest achievements will never feel enough. Gratitude is not about what you have, it is about how you see what you have. When you practice gratitude daily, you rewire your mind to focus on abundance rather than lack. The human mind naturally tends to notice what is wrong, what is missing, and what could go better. This is part of survival. It keeps us alert to danger. But when you live in that state all the time, it creates stress, dissatisfaction, and unhappiness. Gratitude gently shifts your awareness back to what is working, what is present, and what is already a gift. With each acknowledgement of gratitude, your heart softens, your mind relaxes, and joy enters the space. Gratitude is also a magnet for more blessings. When you appreciate what you already have, you send a powerful message to life. I see the good, I value it, I welcome more. This opens the door for even greater experiences to flow into your reality. On the other hand, when you constantly complain or focus on lack, you close yourself off to receiving more. Gratitude is like opening your hands to receive, while ingratitude is like clenching your fists tightly. The more grateful you are, the more reasons you will find to stay grateful. A daily gratitude practice does not need to be complicated. It can be as simple as taking a few minutes in the morning to say, "Thank you for waking up to another day." It can be pausing at night to reflect on 3 things that brought you peace or joy. It can be writing in a journal, speaking your gratitude out loud, or even silently acknowledging blessings as they happen throughout your day. The form does not matter, it is the intention that counts. With practice, gratitude becomes a natural lens through which you see the world. Gratitude also changes your relationship with challenges. When life feels difficult, gratitude helps you see that even in pain there is growth. Maybe the hardship taught you resilience. Maybe the loss opened space for something new. Maybe the delay saved you from going down the wrong path. Gratitude does not deny suffering, but it allows you to find meaning within it. You begin to understand that every experience, no matter how uncomfortable, carries something to be thankful for. Beyond shifting your perspective, gratitude has the power to heal. Studies have shown that practicing gratitude lowers stress, improves sleep, strengthens the immune system, and boosts overall well-being. But beyond the science, gratitude simply feels good. When you are grateful, your heart expands. It becomes harder to stay angry, bitter, or resentful. Gratitude softens edges, heals wounds, and reminds you that life, despite its imperfections, is still a gift. Gratitude also deepens relationships. When you express genuine appreciation for the people around you, you strengthen the bond you share. A simple thank you can uplift someone's spirit and remind them of their value. The more you recognize and acknowledge the good in others, the more love and harmony you invite into your connections. Gratitude turns relationships into safe spaces where love can flourish. And perhaps the most profound gift of gratitude is presence. When you are truly grateful, you are fully in the moment. You are not lost in the past or worried about the future. You are here now, noticing the beauty of this breath, this smile, this moment. Gratitude roots you in the present where joy actually lives. So begin today. Take a moment to thank life for the air in your lungs, for the beating of your heart, for the lessons you have learned, and for the opportunities still waiting for you. Be grateful for the people who have supported you, for the challenges that have strengthened you, and for the simple miracles you may have taken for granted. Each day, make gratitude a practice, and you will find that happiness is no longer something you chase. It becomes something you carry within you. Speak kindly to yourself, for the voice you hear most often in life is your own. Every day, countless thoughts move through your mind, and many of them are directed toward yourself. The way you speak to yourself becomes the atmosphere you live in. If your inner words are harsh, critical, and unforgiving, then you will feel heavy, unworthy, and discouraged. But if your inner words are gentle, loving, and supportive, you will feel uplifted, empowered, and at peace. The truth is, the quality of your life depends greatly on the quality of your self-talk. From an early age, many people absorb criticism from the outside world and unknowingly turn it inward. They hear parents, teachers, or peers point out flaws, and over time, those voices become internalized. Without even realizing it, a person begins to repeat those same criticisms to themselves. I'm not good enough. I always fail. I'll never get it right. These words cut deeper than any external insult because they come from within, from the voice that is supposed to be your greatest ally. Over time, this kind of negative self-talk erodes self-esteem and creates a constant inner battle. but you were never meant to live at war with yourself. You were created to be your own source of comfort, love, and encouragement. Speaking kindly to yourself is not arrogance. It is healing. It is a way of saying, I am worthy of compassion. I deserve to be treated with respect, even by my own mind. When you choose kindness in your self-talk, you begin to repair years of inner criticism. You begin to create a safe space within, a place where you can rest, grow, and thrive. Think for a moment about how you speak to those you love. If a close friend came to you in pain, you would not call them names or remind them of every mistake they've made. You would speak gently, offering comfort and encouragement. Now imagine giving yourself the same gift. Imagine replacing "I'm so stupid" with "I made a mistake, but I am learning." Imagine turning "I'm not attractive enough" into "I am grateful for my body and the way it carries me through life." This shift may feel small, but it creates a powerful ripple effect. Over time, your mind begins to believe the words you speak. When you speak with kindness, you plant seeds of confidence, love, and resilience. Speaking kindly to yourself also means forgiving yourself. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone has moments of regret, failure, or weakness. But holding on to self-criticism only deepens the wound. Instead of replaying harsh judgments in your mind, you can choose to say, I forgive myself for not knowing better at the time. I am growing, and I will do better moving forward. Forgiveness in your self-talk allows you to release the weight of guilt and step into freedom. It is a declaration that you are worthy of another chance. Kind self-talk is also about encouragement. Life brings challenges, and sometimes the path feels overwhelming. In those moments, the voice inside you can either discourage you or motivate you. Telling yourself, this is too hard, I can't do it, closes the door on your potential. But telling yourself, this may be difficult, but I am capable, and I will find a way, opens the door to strength. Encouraging words create resilience. They remind you that no matter what happens, you have what it takes to keep going. Another powerful part of speaking kindly to yourself is practicing daily affirmations. These are positive statements you repeat to reprogram your mind. Simple affirmations like I am enough, deserve love, or I trust myself may seem basic, but they carry deep healing energy. When spoken with intention, they override old patterns of negativity and create new pathways of self-love. Over time, these affirmations become your inner truth. Speaking kindly to yourself also invites peace into your body. Harsh self-talk creates stress and tension. The body responds to criticism with unease because it feels under attack. Kind self-talk, on the other hand, relaxes the nervous system. It creates a sense of safety within, reminding your body and mind that you are on your own side. This sense of inner safety is essential for healing, growth, and joy. It is also important to remember that your inner voice sets the tone for how you interact with the world. If you constantly judge yourself, you are more likely to judge others. If you are patient and compassionate with yourself, you naturally extend that patience and compassion outward. Speaking kindly to yourself does not only transform your inner world, it transforms your relationships, your decisions, and your entire way of living. You may not be able to control every thought that arises, but you can choose which ones you nurture. When an unkind thought appears, pause and gently replace it with a kinder one. With practice, this becomes easier, and soon kindness will flow naturally. Over time, your inner voice will become a friend instead of an enemy, a source of support instead of sabotage. The way you speak to yourself matters. Every word you whisper inward shapes how you see yourself and how you live your life. So choose words of love. Choose words of encouragement. Choose words of forgiveness and compassion. Treat yourself with the same gentleness you would give to someone you deeply love. When you speak kindly to yourself, you create a foundation of inner peace and happiness that no outside circumstance can take away. Release control and trust life. For the more you try to grasp tightly at every detail, the more exhausted you become. Control often comes from fear, the fear that if you do not manage every situation, everything will fall apart. You may believe that if you plan perfectly, push hard enough, and oversee every outcome, you will finally feel safe. But life does not work that way. Life is not meant to be micromanaged. It is meant to be lived. The truth is, trying to control everything robs you of peace, joy, and flow. Trusting life allows you to step into harmony with something greater than yourself. Think about how much energy goes into worrying, overthinking, and attempting to force situations into place. You may replay conversations, predict outcomes, and build endless what-if scenarios in your mind. This mental struggle gives the illusion of control, but in reality, it keeps you stuck in fear. It keeps you from enjoying the present moment because you are always trying to shape the future. And even when things go your way, you often feel relief rather than true joy. Relief that the worst didn't happen. But joy doesn't live in constant control. It lives in surrender. Releasing control is not the same as giving up. It does not mean that you stop working toward your goals or abandon responsibility. It means that you do your part with love, with effort, and with intention. But then you let go of the outcome. You understand that life has its own rhythm, and sometimes what you desire is delayed because something better is being prepared. At other times, doors may close to guide you toward paths you never considered, paths that bring deeper fulfillment than you could have planned yourself. When you trust life, you open yourself to possibilities beyond your imagination. How many times have you looked back at a disappointment only to realize later that it was a blessing in disguise? The job you didn't get led you to a better opportunity. The relationship that ended opened space for someone more aligned with your soul. The delay, the rejection, the detour, they were not punishments, they were redirections. Life has a wisdom that sees further than your eyes can see. Trusting that wisdom allows you to relax and stop fighting the flow. Control also creates tension in relationships. When you try to control people, how they act, how they think, how they feel, you create resistance. People are not meant to be controlled. They are meant to be loved and accepted as they are. The more you demand, the more distance you create. But when you release control and trust that others are on their own journey, you allow space for authentic connection. Love thrives in freedom, not control. One of the greatest acts of trust is believing you are supported. Life is not against you. Even when things feel uncertain or painful, there is a current carrying you forward. Just as the seasons change, just as the sun rises each morning, life has a natural order that supports growth and renewal. You can fight against it, or you can flow with it. Releasing control is choosing flow. It is choosing faith over fear. It is saying, I don't have to know how everything will unfold, but I trust that I will be guided every step of the way. When you let go, peace enters. Anxiety begins to fade because you no longer carry the burden of controlling what was never yours to control. Instead of obsessing over the how and when, you focus on the no. You become present in the moment, finding joy in what is right in front of you. That presence is where life actually happens. The more you live in trust, the more you discover that life often unfolds more beautifully than you could have forced with your limited plans. Trust also brings resilience. When you accept that life has ups and downs, you stop being crushed by every setback. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? You begin to ask, What is this teaching me? That question shifts you from victimhood to empowerment. You stop resisting change and start working with it. Life becomes less about control and more about collaboration with the universe. This practice takes patience. At first, letting go feels uncomfortable because the mind clings to certainty. But the more you practice trust, the more evidence you see that life supports you. You notice small synchronicities, unexpected blessings, and perfect timing. Slowly, your faith grows. You begin to believe that even when you cannot see the bigger picture, it is still being painted with love and wisdom. Releasing control and trusting life is ultimately an act of self-love. It is giving yourself permission to rest, to breathe, and to stop fighting battles that are not yours to fight. It is choosing peace over fear, openness over resistance, and faith over doubt. It is remembering that you are part of something greater, and that you are always being guided. So let go of the need to control every outcome. Do your best, and then release the rest. Trust the timing, trust the lessons, trust the unfolding of your path. Life knows what it is doing, and when you relax into that truth, you will discover a freedom and happiness that control could never give you. Fear is a powerful emotion, and so is love. Every single day, we stand at a crossroad where we must choose which one will guide our lives. Fear whispers doubts. It makes us believe we are not good enough. It keeps us stuck in what is safe but small. Love, on the other hand, expands us. It allows us to see the beauty in ourselves and in others. Choosing love over fear is not a one-time decision. It is a practice, a way of living, a gentle reminder that we are always supported and never alone. When fear arises, it often disguises itself as protection. It tells you not to try because you might fail. It says do not open your heart because you might get hurt. It keeps you locked in the past or anxious about the future. Fear creates walls around your heart, and those walls may feel safe, but they also block out joy, possibility, and connection. Love, however, is freedom. Love is open, expansive, and healing. When you choose love, you choose to see beyond limitations. You choose to trust that life is guiding you in the right direction, even if the path isn't clear yet. Choosing love doesn't mean you won't feel fear. It means you will not let fear drive your decisions. Fear will knock at the door, but you don't have to invite it in. Instead, you can pause, take a breath, and remember, I can choose love. In love, there is courage. In love, there is resilience. In love, there is peace that no outside circumstance can disturb. Imagine how different your day feels when you choose love from the very beginning. You wake up and instead of criticizing yourself for not getting enough done yesterday, you say, I am grateful for another day of life. Today, I choose love. You look in the mirror and instead of judging, you affirm, I am enough. I am worthy of love. When challenges come, instead of panicking, you remind yourself, this is an opportunity to grow. I can face this with love. Every small choice adds up, and soon love becomes your natural state. Fear thrives on scarcity. It tells you there is not enough, that you must compete, compare, and struggle. Love thrives on abundance. It reminds you that the universe is always providing, that there is more than enough joy, success, and opportunity for everyone. When you choose love, jealousy and comparison fade away. You can celebrate the success of others because you know it takes nothing away from your own path. You become calmer, more patient, and more trusting in the flow of life. Many times, fear shows up in our relationships. It makes us doubt if we are loved. It makes us cling to control. It makes us afraid to be vulnerable. Love instead allows us to let go. It says, I am secure in who I am. I do not need to control others to feel safe. Love opens doors to connection and understanding. It builds bridges instead of walls. It heals where fear only separates. To live in love is to live in alignment with your true nature. You were not born to live in fear. You were born to love, to give, to receive, to grow, and to shine. Love is the essence of your being. Fear is learned, but love is eternal. When you come back to love, you come back home to yourself. The practice of choosing love can be simple. Each time you catch yourself worrying, say, I release fear and welcome love. Each time you feel unworthy, remind yourself, I am deeply lovable. Each time you face uncertainty, whisper, I trust life, for love is guiding me. These little reminders shift your energy and slowly transform your world. The more you choose love, the more your life reflects it back to you. Opportunities come more easily. Relationships feel more harmonious. Even when challenges appear, you face them with grace instead of panic. Love softens everything it touches, including your own heart. And as you live in love, you inspire others to do the same. Your energy uplifts everyone around you because love radiates outward. It multiplies and heals. So today, choose love over fear. When fear tells you to hold back, let love guide you forward. When fear tells you that you are not enough, let love remind you of your infinite worth. When fear makes you want to close your heart, let love gently open it. Life becomes lighter, more joyful, and more fulfilling when love is your foundation. You do not need to wait for the perfect moment. The choice is always available right now. Choose love and let it lead you into peace, abundance, and freedom.